So in the previous part, I was working on retying my hair. I'm going to finish that part of it in this video. So if you haven't seen the first part, you can go back and watch it. I'll leave a clip in the or link in the upper right hand or in the description box. But if you'd like to continue from where we left off, the first row done. And some of the things that like that I've learned or seen with my locks, like this one has like a curly end on it. That's not because it never closed, because it did close, kind of like this one. But the thing is, as they've gotten older, some of those ends have started to like be able to be pulled off. And so when I pull the end off, this is what the curl pattern is like at the end of some of those locks. Also, I'm sure that I have some holes. You know, after doing it yourself for so long, you're bound to make a mistake every once in a while, every so often. And so I think that is why at the end, some of them I can, like if I wanted to, I could just snatch this off right now. So I'm gonna start going, hopefully at some point, to a loctician to do them for me, because now I've reached my limit of doing it myself. I think I've done pretty good, but the older they get, you can see as they grow out where you made some mistakes or where you missed, and it's a lot easier to not have that be a thing if you have someone do them for you, because they can actually see what's taking place in the back of your head. So for anyone that's planning to get micro locks or sister locks, for the record, my locks are micro locks. I treat them like sister locks because I initially wanted sister locks. But I did not want to pay for them, because even then I was trying to watch my money. Like, that's a pretty big commitment to put $500 or $600 and then not be sure you're going to keep it. And then when you are going to keep it, spend, you know, $150 to $200 getting them retightened. I was committed to making sure I did not have to spend that. So these were $0, but a lot of time. And I've just maintained them this long. But for anyone else who is not as committed to that process, it can definitely be a benefit to have someone else who is certified or just well reported on through reviews and whatnot and recommendation do them for you if you are not going to be fully committed to the process of doing it yourself, so that you do not have to pay for it. I have had more, I guess maybe it's psoriasis. I don't know if it's psoriasis or not, but like I didn't used to have dandruff or dry scalp or whatever as much when the locks were shorter. And now that they're longer, I have it more often and more frequently. Or breakouts more often or more frequently. Also, I sweat in my head more than I used to. So that's the thing. And then it has kind of made going swimming and whatnot, like turned it into a chore. Whereas when they were shorter, I could just go, and then even if I had to wash them after, or when I washed them after, it wasn't that big a deal because I didn't have to do as much wringing out and all of that. But now that they're longer, it's like a whole nother wash day. It's so exhausting. Well, it feels like I have to do a whole wash day because there's more hair to cater to when it comes to getting all of the chlorine out and whatnot. But for the most part, I still feel like it was the best decision I could have made for my hair at the time. Um, when I want to style it, I can. I usually don't, but it's very low maintenance for me. It's just those few things that I just don't enjoy doing all the time, but they're worth it. And then I might share something else later, like what washing it looks like. Um, I have been, uh-oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. I messed around and caught some new growth, and I gotta figure out how to get this lock from being attached to the other one. Oh my gosh. And so you don't want that to be a thing, because then you disrupt the integrity of your lock at the base. And I know I have more than a few locks in my head where that has been a thing, or that is a thing. Not has been, but it's a thing. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. They're not like consistent uniform size the way sister locks would be, because I maintain them myself. But I deal with it. I'm okay with it because those are mistakes that I made and it's my hair. I think I would be more upset if I was going to get them done by someone professionally and they made those mistakes. Like, then it would be more frustrating. But because I did it myself, it's like, okay, well, you can only blame you for it. But my locks have still flourished despite that, so I'll just deal with it. But I just did that just then. Accidentally grabbed the hair of new growth from one lock and pulled it in with another one, and then I have to loosen it or break it. In that case, it just broke. Like, those few strands just broke. So when they grow out, they'll end up in one of the two locks that I was working on. I like this little tool better than the hook, but I use the latch hook because of those stray hairs that can sometimes be there, and I want to make sure they get put into the lock. So I'll use it to grab the hair, and then the rest of it I'll do with this little tool once it's been put in there. I'm not as meticulous as some who do their own locks, where they make sure that they're only going in one direction or the other for their last rotation. I don't really care that much because when the hair grows out, it's gonna lay anyway. So I don't do that anymore. I think when they're newer, it might be important to do that, because if they're short, you kind of want to try to maintain some resemblance of structure, so your hair is not just sticking up on top of your head the whole time. But once they drop, at least for me, once mine dropped, it didn't really matter as much anymore. So this will be a 6 to 8 hour process. And then after this, I'm gonna wash it. And that's backwards. Generally, you wash your locks first, and then after you have washed them, then you retie them. But I feel better when I have done the part that I don't like first, and then I can relax after washing them, because washing them has turned into its own job, and for me, that's like the finish line. So I know that this is going to take longer than a wash, so I'll do this part first, and then after I'm done the retightening, then I'll wash it and lay down and be done for the next 10-12 weeks. Now, you're not supposed to wait that long. It should be a regular schedule of about 8 weeks at the longest. Yeah, so I know you're not supposed to do that, but I'm doing it myself, and I didn't feel like doing it every 8 weeks. So sometimes I will absolutely cheat the process, I guess, and do it like in 4 months. So I only retwist my hair every 3 to 4 months. Oh, I guess 4 months would be 16 weeks. I have done that before, and I'm sure that's why some of the holes exist. And so it's at that point when I realized if I'm going to keep them and keep them nice, I'm gonna have to start getting them done. So I'm gonna finish this process. I may do a wash day to update what I'm doing with my locks now. But if you made it this far, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.